Additive inverse. Now what is the meaning of additive inverse and what is the meaning of multiplicative inverse? Now when you say inverse, it obviously means in layman's term ulta pulta, right? To reverse something or to go in the opposite direction. Now when we talk about additive inverse, what is the opposite of addition? Subtraction. Correct. So what it says is, if I have a number negative 5 upon 11, so it's additive inverse. So the additive inverse, okay, additive inverse of negative 5 upon 11 becomes positive 5 upon 11. Please remember this. And you will be asked, what is the sum of the additive inverse of 5 upon 11 and 5 upon 11? So if I do additive inverse of 5 upon 11 is negative 5 upon 11 and 5 upon 11. So the sum of negative 5 upon 11, that is the additive inverse of 5 upon 11 and its additive inverse will give me 0. Always remember, the sum of a number, rational number, and its additive inverse is always 0. So if I have a rational number, say 8 upon 7, and its additive inverse obviously will be negative 8 upon 7, their sum will be 0. Now, the additive inverse of 3 is negative 3. The additive inverse of negative 3.72 is positive 3.72. And the additive inverse of 0 is 0. Why? Because 0 is neither negative nor positive. Please remember this. Fine. Now when we come to multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse is this. The multiplicative inverse of 17 upon 15 is, when I say multiplicative inverse, it means multiplication should become division. So numerator become denominator, denominator become numerator. This is also called as reciprocal. So multiplicative inverse is also called as reciprocal. So multiplicative inverse of negative 8 will be equal to 1 upon negative 8. And in standardized form, that means the denominator cannot be negative. It will become negative 1 upon 8. Furthermore, if I talk about multiplicative inverse of 1 upon 7, it becomes simply 7 upon 1, which is equal to 7. Further on, multiplicative inverse of 0 does not exist, because multiplicative inverse of 0 becomes 1 upon 0. If it becomes 1 upon 0, then it is undefined or infinity. It's a forever loop. Hence, nobody goes for multiplicative inverse of 0. Now, as we had with additive inverse, that the sum of a number and its additive inverse. So, negative 5 upon 11 is the number, its additive inverse is 5 upon 11. Its sum is 0. Here it is 8 upon 7, its additive inverse is negative 8 upon 7. Its sum is 0. So the sum of additive inverse is always 0, and the product of multiplicative inverse of a number and the number itself is always 1. So 17 upon 15 multiplied by its multiplicative inverse or reciprocal will give us 1. How? 15 1 are 15, 15 1 are 15. 17 1 are 17, 17 1 are 17. So I get 1. In the same way, I can take negative 8 multiplied by negative 1 upon 8. So 8 1s are 8, 8 1s are 8, and negative 1 into negative 1 is positive 1. Then next this 1 upon 7 multiplied by its multiplicative inverse, that is 7 upon 1. We give us 7 1s are 7, 7 1s are 7. So I get 1. So please remember this. The sum of a number and its additive inverse is always 0, and the product of a number and its multiplicative inverse is always 1. Done.